DreamHack Showdown Summer 2020. My name is Frankie Ward and I've got our fabulous analysts Potter and Vilga joining me. And Potter, I'm just going to confess that I'm really jealous of you because we're on American time. So by the end of these 4 best of 3s we have, I ain't not going to look like this.
You're going to be screwed. You're going to be screwed, Frankie. Definitely chug a lot of coffees because last week it was a struggle. But yeah, I mean, I'm in my comfort zone, baby. We're in America. We're in those American time zones. So I'm definitely ready to see some action.
Well, let's take a look at the bracket and check out the 6 teams we have competing this weekend. Now, as you're probably already aware, CLG, Red and Dignitas are our 2 invited teams. So they get a free pass, I guess you could call it, to the semi-finals. But before then, we've got 4 newer teams competing. We've got Able Esports, White and Dangerous Game competing first, and then we have Silhouette, and that's what she said. And first of all, we should probably chat a little bit about Able Esports White, given that they maybe have a bit more experience than their opponent, Dangerous Game, because it's quite hard to find out about some of these teams. Some of the players are kind of brand new to competition. But one of the players who isn't brand new is a lady called Bouchard, who seems to have played with everyone on the North American scene.
Yeah, definitely. Bouchard, she's been around the block, and it's actually she's got that experience. She's actually a player that I'm not too familiar with individually, but you're right, Frankie. She was in Dignitas, she was in Silhouette, she was in Dangerous Game. She's been all around between a lot of these players, so she's got that familiarity. I'm not sure exactly the full story on what happened with Dig, because I know right now Dig are playing with Artstar back into the lineup, but that's who she was meant to replace. So that definitely, it didn't work out for her, but she's certainly got some promise, some potential, because if Dig and CLG Red, they come knocking on Bouchard's door, you know she's got something to work with.
That's a really, really good point. And I'm curious about the Able Esports lineup. Do you know anything about these players, Volga? Have you found anything out?
Honestly, not much. I only know Bouchard, who was competing, by the way, on the last year Valencia DreamHack Showdown as well with my teammate, current teammate Claudia. What I found out about them is that they're a team. They've been even playing together at the ESEA Open. They made it even to the playoffs, but fortunately they lost. So that's all I could find.
They do have a player called Smiley, who I believe was coaching back in the day. Might have even coached Silhouette back in the day when Bouchard was on the lineup. So they obviously have some kind of working in-game relationship. But it's interesting to see that Smiley's now stepping back up to the player plate. But perhaps this hints at a little bit of structure, Potter. Are we expecting to see anything in terms of executions, given that this roster hasn't necessarily been together that long?
I think so. Just because, as Vilga just mentioned, they made it all the way to the playoffs in Open. And I gotta say, Open, it's brutal, man. I mean, it's brutal. There's so many different types of teams and players that you have to face up against. So every week, it's like, it's a curveball thrown your way. So I think Open is absolutely a character building experience for a lot of these new teams, new, inexperienced, maybe not quite as skilled teams. So making it to the playoffs in itself, I think, is absolutely an accomplishment. Now, as Vilga mentioned, they got knocked out in that first round, but I do think it's going to bode well for them moving forward, because although we've been talking about mixes, pugs, just friends getting together and having fun, Able White, they made this team back in, I believe it was April, and Bouchard joined in June. So they've had a couple of months in quarantine to kind of grind it out and hash it out and figure out, hopefully, what their teamwork is going to look like.
And that's a really good point about ESEA as well, because Originum, of course, our victors from last weekend, they made it to the playoffs of Intermediate in Europe. Unfortunately, they didn't make it beyond their first match either, but they fought really, really hard to get there. So if we've got a team in Able Esports who's able to do that as well, maybe they are one of the teams to watch. On the other side of things, we have Dangerous Game. Now, this team has to be the ultimate underdog because I could barely find out anything about them. But Vilga, you went on a hunt through their ESEA profile. So what did you find out?
Yeah, well, honestly, it was hard to find, but I still did a bit. So Dangerous Game, they're a mix. And I was able to talk to Floor, which is their player. And apparently they're just a stack of friends. They've known each other for a very long time. Sometimes they play together in some packs. Before this event, she told me they practiced just for 2 weeks. So I don't expect a lot to see. But she told me that there is a reason why they call it Dangerous Game. It's because of their risky plays and decisions. So hopefully we'll see it today.
Potter, it sounds a bit YOLO to me. I have my concerns about the fluid play that Dangerous Game have described themselves as employing. Are you also concerned?
I am. I can't lie. I am a little bit concerned. I do think that it bodes well for them to have that more of a loosey-goosey playstyle, right? Because we've been talking about nerves and we've been talking about inexperience, and these two factors play such a huge role in players' mentalities and how they approach a lot of these series that the pressure, all of a sudden, it's different. It's not just going in and having fun, it means something a little bit more. So definitely, I think going into this, having that hands-off approach and just kind of having fun with your friends, it should provide some more exciting Counter-Strike. Now, is it enough to be able to help Dangerous Game actually win? No, it's definitely not enough, but it's enough to kind of push you over the edge, push you over the edge. That sounds negative. Push you over the line, just a little bit, a little nudge when you're right there. So if Dangerous Game, if they're able to actually put some rounds on the board with skill in itself, then this loosey-goosey playstyle can potentially put a couple more rounds on the board for them.
And Vilga, have you noticed with the women's scene, I know there aren't as many tournaments, but have you noticed that playstyles have become a bit more loosey-goosey, as Potter would say? Because what we've seen in the tier 1 scene with your ESL Pro Leagues, for example, your DreamHack Masters, we have seen teams rise to the fore that weren't necessarily performing that well on LAN because they seem to have much more online experience, and so they're not taken by surprise when they do take to the server from the comfort of their own homes.
Yeah, for sure I think that playing online is like a big advantage, you're playing your comfortable place, you're playing like everything is fixed perfectly, just how you play all the time. Definitely it's a big advantage. Talking about the mixes and the teams, we still kind of need to understand that mix, they have nothing to lose. They can, a team is very structured, composure, and they still might be really, serious about playing against a mix.
Well,
hopefully it will be interesting.
Yeah, I do have an important announcement, and I can't say it with a straight face. This is so bad. I'm sorry, I'm very professional. But instead of Chris Toast playing on Dangerous Games, we've got a player called Jelly. I don't know why.
Jess, okay, so wait, let me make sure I heard this right. Jelly is subbing in for Chris Toast.
Yes. So we've skipped past the starter and we've gone straight to the desserts. So hopefully we'll see something interesting from Jelly. I'm not sure why that sub has come in, but unfortunately we don't have time to discuss that because we've got to get to our map veto while I calm myself down. Now, Vilga, what you discovered, it looks like no team is playing Vertigo. They're loving Inferno Mirage, but also
no Vertigo, no Nuke, that's for sure. That's going to be the second ban. I think they will go for Mirage or Inferno, both of these teams.
Ooh. Train.
Back that. Yeah.
So Train coming out for Able White right off the bat. That's a good pick.
Yeah, that's a really good pick. They're a team, so I don't think they will have any problems with this map.
And Dust 2, though, this is a map that can go either way, especially as best of ones, right? They're known for their upsets. So if this was a best of one tournament, then maybe you could see Dangerous Game taking this. The fact that they're opening with Dust 2, if they get that momentum, do you think actually this series could go 2-1, Potter?
I think the potential is there. Dust 2, it's such a unforgiving map. If you don't have certain protocols to be able to control long A, then it just becomes so chaotic. Pugs can absolutely bully and just kind of brute force their way. You don't need a lot of set strategies when you're attacking long A on the T side of things. You just chunk a shitload of flashes over the wall and then you come out and you duel and you try to come out on top of those trades. So definitely for Able White side of things, they've got to be able to have that sort of structure that Vilga kept talking about so that they don't find themselves in a position where Dust 2, they're just getting pugged out.
And if chonking long A doesn't work, then you can always rush B. Now let's find out what you guys are predicting. Twitch chat, hopefully you saw the voting instructions on screen, so you've had your say, and we'll reveal that result shortly. But right now, Vilga, I've got to come to you for your first prediction here at the DreamHack Showdown Summer. Who do you think is going to take this series?
I think it's going to be Able Esports White, and I think it's going to be 2-0.
Potter.
I'm gonna go with Able Esports White as well. I think they should be able to win this.
I am also saying the same thing. I'm curious to see if we could get an upset in the first round from Dangerous Game, given that we don't know what to expect from them. But I do think if they win this series, it's not necessarily gonna forecast how we see them doing the rest of the tournament. So we're gonna take a short break. Oh, actually no, we're gonna find out what Twitch chat's saying. I do want to know what Twitch chat's saying. 50-50.
Oh, that's straight down the middle.
Straight down the middle. Be more interesting, Twitch chat. I want you to take sides, okay? I'm going to be going to Twitch chat in a moment because we're going to take a short break. So give me your armchair analysis, and then when we come back on the other side, we're going to be joined by Harry Fearless, and I'm hoping we might even have a special guest called Betty. But if you don't stick around, you won't get to meet her.
Hello everyone and welcome here at the first game of DreamHack Showdown NA version this time. My name is Fearless and once again I'm joined by the one and only Harry. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, yeah. I was meant to have my dog here with me, by the way. That's who Betty was. Like when Frankie was doing that throw, I did kind of like prepare her by saying, yeah, my dog's going to be here. It's going to be cute. It's going to be great. But she's not here right now, is she? So yeah, we're all disappointed. We're all sad, but stick around. You know, maybe she'll be coming up. I tell you what, though, we do have some teams, believe it or not, about to go head to head. We've got Able White and Dangerous Game. I don't really know too much about the Dangerous Game side. I think that was even the sentiment of the analysts there, right? You had to dig pretty deep to find out much about this team. But then you look over at Able White, I see Bouchard and I see Smiley, these two very, very experienced. I'm a pretty big Bouchard fan out of the two of them. So, you know, I'm looking at Able White here as the favorite in this series. I want to know how you're feeling, though, Fearless, as we get into Dust 2.
Oh man, this map can go both ways. Very interesting to see if Bouchard can live up to those standards, or maybe Dangerous Game come in with an upset on this map. But here we go. Lots of T's. They're running out of mid. And, well, that's already the first player taken out for the CTs. And it looks like they're on their way to the B bomb site. So far, pretty easy. 2 kills already gone the way for Able Esports. And now, me with a good after plant position. But sadly, will get found. But it still looks very comfortable here for the T's. A little bit of the Glock action. But eventually, Sapphire there will get the last kill. And also, for you guys maybe wondering out there, is that the Sapphire we saw last week? The answer sadly is no.
Yeah, I wish it was. I think we all do, right? That would be cool. You know, like roll back the years, you get Sapphire in the server, but like the OG Sapphire.
Yeah.
Oh, my voice just cracks. That's how you know that the idea of that excites me. But yeah, no, you're bang on, right? We just have that little pissed around play out. It's nice. It's pretty much everything you want to see from the T's once they get into that B bomb site. I'm pretty interested though, obviously, because like, you know, the Dust 2 door change happened a little while ago now, but I haven't really seen all too much CS played on these brand new doors. I know there were a few events that had it in, but you know, I took like a little break after that pretty long stint of covering CS on the back of Pro League and stuff like that. So I haven't really seen it yet. I'm curious to see how these teams play around that.
Well, looks like at least for this round, they won't be using it. It looks like all the weaponry of Able Esports will make their way towards that B tunnel. And I think a lot of flashbangs will eventually pop out. That's the first, not really blinding anyone. And that's actually a quite good kill there from Sai there, first with a pistol, but eventually, you know, the weapons do win against the pistols and the bomb. Oh, hello! We have L just jumping down from the window, getting another kill. Sadly, it won't be enough, but that was a nice cheeky kill there.
Yeah, it got scary, right? Because it looked like no one was really in position to deal with her either. She was able to grab the Galil as well. And in those situations, it just feels a little bit tragic because it's the aim punch, right? That just absolutely wrecks her. So yeah, Able are going to get that second round up on the board. And now it's only these pistols once again over here for Dangerous Game. I think NA, we have a lot more creative names. Like, and I say creative, maybe that's the wrong word. A lot more like... I've seen a bunch of like some of the ridiculous names. I'm trying to think what Miss Harvey's team is called. Was it that one? That's what she said. Yeah. You know, like just creative may be the wrong word. But here we go into this round. It's going to be a little pistol push down through the lower tunnels. And actually, it gets away with one. And now there's this like long pincer coming in. The problem is that on the back of seeing these players pushing the lower tunnels, Able, they kind of know that they don't have any other choices left. So they just commit into the A bomb site. And these long wraps are going to arrive, but maybe a little too late to find the effect you were looking for. They get picked up. There's still a chance that this round gets a little bit scary. But with that kill from Exile, it should be locked in, right? Ellie all alone in this 1v3. Bomb goes down and she's going to get put in the ground. So yeah, Able, they get that round. But now we have the investment, the thing that we were looking for here for Dangerous Game.
Oh, yeah, it was really scary for a second. You know, the Deagles definitely did quite a lot of damage there during that round. So, you know, with all that money now in the bank, we see the first big green gun up on the scoreboard. And it's in the hands of Jelly. And, oh, well, Jelly gets it first. Was a little bit blind there for a second, but it's all good. He's still able to flick there onto Bouchard. And now that player is out of this round so far. And the question is, how will Able Esports adapt? They try to go for short there, but L is right in position to take care of that. And it looks like pretty much everyone is. And as soon as the flashbangs, they pop onto short, L sweeps everyone right off. And that's now the first round on the scoreboard for Dangerous Game.
And right out the gate, right, like you think about these first 3 rounds, so like usually, you know, you get off to this 3-0 lead and you're feeling pretty good. Well, truthfully, like for Able, they were a lot more costly than they needed to be across all of those rounds. And I don't necessarily think that's through like shortcomings of their own so much as like Dangerous Game playing a very, very kind of like fast, loose group style of CS with those pistols where they didn't really have much to lose. And so that's left this buy, you know, for the tees. It's not awful. You've still got AKs, you've still got the AWP in play, but you are broke if you lose this round. So this one actually carries a lot of weight here, especially for Able. And the fact that they've been able to take these 2 openers is absolutely huge, especially on a map like Dust 2, because suddenly you're left in like this very, very awkward spot. You've got 2 players over here towards the A site, but as a result, you've completely given up any mid presence. You're probably a little more safe with rotations as well, because every rotate that you make is that much more punishing now. Even Ellie dropping down off of short, right? Suddenly now she's got to try and hold on to short side here from elevator. And as she's getting this contact, it's still not like an ideal place to be, and she doesn't really get the information. If anything, that just solidifies this 2-player stack inside of the A bomb site. And that's going to make this B hit that much more devastating. As they get out in towards mid, Ellie is here. She might be able to catch a timing. Not a flash to help her out, so she's just going to go running through that smoke, and she goes down as a result. And yeah, this round falls apart now. Jelly left up in a 1v3, and it's not good, right? You're retaking the B bomb site with an AWP. These are 2 like red flags right out of the gate. So honestly, at this point, if I'm her, I'm looking towards a save. She might float around to see if she can accomplish anything with this AWP, but yeah, she goes down, and that is going to be a 4th for Able. Really, I don't know if sticking around there was entirely necessary. I think she wanted to try and do damage, knowing that Abel's money was in like a really rough spot.
Yeah.
But it just felt like quite the risk to take in a round that is so often unwinnable. Like, you see teams in 2-on-3s not bother retaking the B site, even with utility. So yeah, hanging around with the AWP, maybe a bit of a mistake early on, but they still had money to play with, so it's not the end of the world.
Ooh, and well, look at that. Jelly once again with that first opening on long with that AWP. It's actually, it was, you know, a little bit difficult there for Dangerous Game. You know, now Jelly doesn't have all the utility of the world, and Sai doesn't have full-on head armor, but I know, I mean, against AKs, it's doable, definitely. But hey, with a nice opening, this round is definitely looking better. And Flora with the closed door positioning. Yeah, that wasn't really expected. She picks up a weapon, but Exile still ready and waiting to pull the trigger, but eventually Jelly will pick her right up. And, you know, things start to go kind of back and forth once again. You know, Able have a round back, and now Dangerous Game once again. And it kind of reset Able Esports because the money is quite low. No loss bonus as they just won a round. And that means they just have to do it with some pistols and 1 smoke and a flash.
And I love this. I love this lower push. Okay, right. As I'm like, it's not great, right? I'm trying to big it up, but that wasn't what was meant to happen, obviously. It would have been nice if a bit more had come from that, because now, you know, an M4 has been given over. It's still like not the end of the world. You're only up against these pistols. Bouchard admittedly does have armor behind this M4, and so that's like a pretty juicy little prospect for later in the round. But it does very much rely on keeping this round close. You know, like a 3-on-4, if you kind of spiral out of control, if you take a gun away and you start to put that pressure on where Dangerous Games suddenly feel very, very restricted and have to play reactively into what you're doing on this T side, then that's where things can get scary. You know, like we've all been there. You know, even like playing in like your matchmakings and things like that, it's terrifying when the pistols get away with more than you know that they should be. And so for Flora here and Jelly, the most important thing is that they don't falter to the pistols. And my goodness, Jelly gets deleted over at the car. Flora's just trying to buy time, and this rotation from JL is perfect. She gets there into CT, she shuts down Bouchard. That was the one rifled player in this round, but Smiley's still putting up numbers, and this leaves Kimmy now in a 1v2. It's not impossible, but it's also just not likely. She gets the dink, but not able to follow up, and the defuse is going to come on in. It's a Dangerous Game. It is a dangerous round. They get it. They get a third. But 2 players staying alive when you're only up against the pistols, that's a lot more costly than you would have liked.
Yeah, I don't know really what happened there on the A side for a second. It kind of looked like they were panicking a little bit, trying to win the fight while being blind, not really trying to hide and then re-peek. And the util actually came quite late when they were actually already planting the bomb. But hey, they still managed to win the round, and now the heat is all over on the B-bomb side. Great nade damage already, and that means that the CTs can sweep them off a little bit easier, but we still have a 3-on-3 on our hands, and the bomb can actually almost get planted, but CTs are so close already. Rotations are coming right in, and now we have L falling as the first player as a rotation come in. Maybe not the best idea to go in all on your own, but now the two CTs are here. Flora with the first will get traded, and now it's on to Jelly once again with that AWP. Oh, but a shot will get missed, and now she needs to clear the backside. Oh, and this crossfire is so deadly. Eventually, it is Sapphire still hiding in that corner there. That will make it a 5-3 now in favor of Able Esports, but ooh, that was scary for a second.
Yeah, definitely. I think a key detail there was Exile holding on to the upper tunnels. She actually let Flora get by, and by the looks of it, that was never properly communicated to the players in the site. And I love the decision from Flora to just sprint past and turn that site engagement into a 1v1 that then realistically can be won. You know, if you deal with that player at the backside, that was Sapphire, if you're able to find her, well, then you know where the AWP is, you know it's in tunnels. And so that round could have gotten out of control. It was a nice idea, and like in theory, it almost came together, but that's just, ooh, that's a nice little deep. That's a long distance deep shot there from the bottom of mid over towards Suicide. However, it's not going to mean all too much as the rest of these pistol players are just getting mopped on up. And so Able, they will be finding this 6th round. There's no question about that. However, this AWP, I don't know if it got picked up, because I know Kimmy was nearby, but yeah, she didn't grab it. Normally, you might see someone like try and juggle that AWP away just to get it out of the hands of the CTs, and that's not the case. So now suddenly everyone's kind of scrambling, like, right, she has the AWP, we need to get it off of her, and they go running in, and luckily enough, they will. They do get the AWP at the hands of JL, and so they find the round. They deal with that little threat there at the very end. If you were Dangerous Game, you really wanted that AWP, because you're not going to have one in this round if you weren't able to hold on to it. And we actually have a P90 bought up, so that's going to be interesting. Oh. It's always fun to see the P90. I'm trying to think like where you would even want to play that. I guess like tunnels is one of or catwalk. Yeah, okay, catwalk works because it is like this little close engagement here. But I don't love it. I'll be real. I don't love that. I think Dust 2 not really a map you can make that too viable on, unless maybe you're going aggressive into the tunnels over here at B. And that wasn't the decision that was made. So yeah, this one might just this round might already be over. I hate to throw it to you now, Fearless, but yeah, this might just have to be a save.
Yeah, 2 M4s. It's kind of sad though. The P90, it left Bouchard on 1 HP. You hate to see that when you know, having 99 damage up on your kill feed, and that's like, that definitely sucks. But hey, Dangerous Game can at least save 2 rifles. Money wise will definitely be better, but not too great. You know, the money now for Able Esports can start to build up. They have that double op setup. Very interesting to see on the T side. But so far seems to be working. At least, you know, you can have 1 top mid, and maybe if the spawn is good, because Dust 2 T side is definitely all about the spawns. If someone has a good long spawn, you might want to pass that up over to see if you can maybe take Jelly out of the game if she is holding that long position again. And that's a nice upgrade actually. Jelly now finds herself a nice AK instead of an M4. So if you are saving 2 rifles, at least you have one that's a little bit better now.
Yeah, something that worries me a little bit is already it feels like this B site is becoming a problem. A lot of these plays are ending up over towards B. You're finding a lot of success there. It's a really hard site to retake, and it's also like worrisome because it can lead to you to overcompensate in towards B and then leave other areas of the map a little too quiet. So for me, I think for Able, I want to see them keep abusing this B site right up until like you'll hit like this moment and you can kind of feel when it's going to happen, where you kind of like, you know, you're anticipating that there's going to be a heavier B presence, and these AWPs are going to help with spotting that out right on the mid cross. So I love it when teams, when you kind of get like this little golden strat like these B plays, when you just abuse that early on, and then once you get like the idea that they're overcompensating there, that's when you spread out, you hold the other areas of the map, and you try play around it. Fearless, I am a little bit curious. Has your feed just gone down as well? 'Cause mine has.
I am completely blind.
That's fine. That's fine. You know, because I think we can make like a nice little educated guess as to how this round's playing out.
Ooh.
Just before everything went down, it looked like there was like some long aggression, right? And they were having to readjust to that. Oh, I see. There we go.
Oh,
Okay, yeah.
we're
So I was going to
back.
say, Able looked like they were poised to pick the round up, and they did. I don't know how, but I think the folks watching on Twitch know. So that's good. Like they know more than we do. That's a rare feeling.
Yeah. Well, at least it looks very good now for Able Esports. Still going strong with the double up setup, and let's see what use they're gonna make out of this. I like that Bouchard is gonna be playing this close angle, of course, knowing that Elle has been pushing it quite often, and she is playing there in that cheeky corner. Let's Smiley kind of bait for her. It's kind of sad that it does get traded 1-for-1. But at least, you know, that's one part of the map kind of like controlled now. You can take things slower from now on. And it looks like they're trying to kind of like force maybe a rotation over towards A. They do have now 2 CTs on A. But little do they know that now they're very keen into running back towards that B bomb site. That's a nice opening of Bouchard. And now Flora needs to hold her ground, and she does exactly that. 2 kills now for her, and the retake needs to come in, and Exile sadly missing that off shot, because I have a feeling it would have been possible if she would have made that flick. But now, dangerous game. Retake was solid. Flora, solid B anchor, and now a 4th round for dangerous game.
So I'm looking at the spawns for the T's right now, and they are all over towards B. I would have kind of loved to have maybe just seen like one more attempt at this like fast, you know, complete and utter disrespect B play, and it would have been the perfect round to do it. Not that they know that, right? Like we have the gift of knowing where everyone is right now in the game. And instead they're gonna kind of tend over here towards Catwalk, and this could prove to be a bit of a shame with this double mid presence, because that means these rotations are going to be a hell of a lot faster in towards this A bomb site, and this is like a little bit rough, because this is one of these rounds where if you keep this pressure on and you keep exerting yourself into the map and like really not allowing dangerous game to kind of get an idea of the flow of this one, that's how you stay on top. Bouchard, it's a bit awkward. She's gone past Ellie in CT. Oh goodness, they didn't know she went by, and a missed shot from the AWP. Bouchard just taps them down. And yeah, forget I said anything, right? They run into the stack, but Bouchard goes above and beyond, quite literally over the heads of the players in CT, and she's locked around him pretty much single-handedly. For JL, it's a horrible spot to be in. There's fire everywhere. She can't do anything. She's going to have to save. She's got to back out of this one. And so Able, they are going to get the round, thanks to Bouchard and those flashbangs that were able to just get her by. They didn't even consider that some absolute madwoman was going to drop down into CT and run the gauntlet in the way that she did.
Oh man, and I love the confidence too. You know, that last kill she got, she had like, I don't know, 3 bullets or something left in her mag. And it was like, you know what? I see up CT. I want to kill that CT. Let me just do that. Whatever the amount of bullets I still have, doesn't matter. And it works. And I love that.
Yeah,
the thing is, though...
sorry, go on.
We're getting quite close to the first half already of this first map. So, Dangerous Game really needs to kind of step it up if, you know, if they kind of want to pull in some more action.
Yeah, and that's something else, right? Like that T side execute there into the A bomb site was very, very well done. We see a lot of teams do that, right? Like at the upper echelons of CS, where you smoke off CT, you throw the cross smoke, it gets your players very, very deep up the elbow, and then you flash players down for that CT peak. That's a lot of confidence, and that's a very, very well executed strat. And Dangerous Game, one of the things that I'm worried about is, you know, from hearing like the descriptions of this team from the analysts as to how they are like kind of this this like mix of friends that came together to play at this event and have done very well to get here. It's a little bit scary because it does leave me questioning, like, how are they going to deal with these very well rehearsed, by the looks of things, executes into these bomb sites, because it can be very overwhelming. In this round, they've actually done well with the pistols. They've got it into a 3-on-3, and with 2 kits still in play and armor on JL, this isn't an undoable round. But one of the problems that they're going to find is that they've got no utility, and with the bomb planted for Catwalk, this like duel between Sapphire, Smiley, and Sai over towards Short is essential. Like, you have to win this fight if you want to pick the round up, and with the HP, it's just not going to happen. So yeah, this one should be dead to rights. It should be very, very safe. Maybe not clean, as Exile's in a very awkward fight here, but she does just tap down the player with the P250. So yeah, that one's locked in. It's swept under the rug. 10 on the board for Abel, and it's like a little bit horrible because, you know, like the moment you realize that bomb's planted for Short, you know you need to find the success there. And with them not doing that, the penny kind of drops that the round is over a little too late. And so it's 10-4. This is on the map pick of Dangerous Game. This is a very, very rough opening map, especially considering that, you know, you're coming into this already as kind of the underdogs, and then on your map pick, you've really been dealt a pretty rough hand out of the gate.
Yeah, I would have liked some more maybe mid-aggression there from Danger Game, because like the short really hasn't been working out. And last round, I think it was Bouchard there falling onto the D bomb side, and then the T's decided to go towards A. But they had 1 player over and long and kind of 2 more gravitating towards B, and they weren't really contesting mid, and they kind of completely lost control of that A bomb side so quickly. You have 1 player that's so far away over and long, and then kind of all fell apart. And retake just seems very hard against Able Esports. And now in this round, you know, maybe they can change things up. They have 3 people now over on A. Once again, L there holding off the short position. This time kind of smoking it, delaying things. Oh, she's already predicting with her crosshair that there is people going to be there, and she's not wrong. We have Smiley over here, and now a little bit of util that will be lining up very soon. And L now is deciding to kind of get close, get the info. And if she pushes a little bit further, she knows that the T's are not there anymore. In fact, Flora is now finding them all onto the tunnel area. And this is actually kind of great, because Flora kind of delayed them. And now L is trying to come in very quickly with the flank. Sadly, Bouchard was ready for it. She was still waiting in that mid position to take care of the retake. Oh, and kills. They start to go either way, and now it's a 1v1, and it's Jelly winning it for Dangerous Game, now making it a 10-5.
Yeah, this first half is still very, very one-sided for Able, but there's now a chance. You've got a bit of a buffer if you're Dangerous Game. You could try and pull this back on your map pick. We want to see some good T-side executes. We saw a lot from Able, and now we're waiting for Dangerous Game to arrive in the server. You'd have to join us after a quick break for this second half of play, so don't go anywhere.
How hard can you go when the beat drop? you go? How hard can 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 you? How hard can you? How hard can you? How hard can you go?
Hello everyone and welcome back here to this first map of Able Esports against Dangerous Game. It's 10-5 in favor of Able Esports, but we're switching halves, so pretty much anything can still happen. My name is Fearless, I'm joined here still by Harry, and let's get the second pistol round on its way. Oh, we have 3 decoys on Dangerous Game, and it looks like they're all going to be thrown towards long, and the rest is just going to be charging out towards that mid area. Oh man, and Flora is getting them Glock headshots, and now it kind of leaves Bouchard here over on the A long, trying to kind of wait for her teammates. Exile is following up though with the flank on short. And suddenly it is a 3-on-3. Oh god. They keep on flying. Sapphire with 2 more, and Exile will finish everyone right up. And it's Able Esports with the pistol round.
Yeah, it's moments like that where you see the experience that Able have over someone like Dangerous Game, right? Because they play this double short setup. This is something that we see a lot. It's good to deal with these cap plays, but in this instance, it gets cut down right away. They get away with the kill, but that's it. And up close, these Glocks do just turn the USPs into mincemeat. But then it falls into this like 3-on-4. And a key moment there for me is Bouchard. She very, very purposefully repositions over towards the crossroads at long side. And that gives her this like timing to take a few fights and then fall back over towards long. And as you said, she waited for her teammates to get into position, and then they approach that 3-on-4 together. You know, they don't give any more isolated fights. They group up, they play into that site as Dangerous Game are trying to set up for the post plant. And so it's like all these little moments where they just give themselves a bit more time, a few more chances, a few less crosshairs on them. That's all things that we didn't really see from Dangerous Game's CT side. In this round, it's a double long setup, and the Bison here, ammo is not a problem for Jelly. She just keeps on spraying away. She's going to get away with that kill onto Kimmy. So this little force buy, the Dangerous Game of, oh, this is awkward. This is awkward. And as I was saying, this force buy that Dangerous Game have thrown into this round can still find success, especially with this bomb planted. It's not really planted for anywhere. And so as a result, they're going to have to stay close in the bomb site. They've got to try and win these fights. Jelly back on the Bison, but this time no more heroics. It's a double car setup, and they're creeping around these smokes. They deal with Exile. It's Sapphire and Smiley desperately looking for these, and Sapphire 3 kills in what was a 1v2. She takes down her teammate in the process and locks it in.
I mean, if that is what it takes to win a round, I would do that.
Yeah, yeah, you got no problem with that. Just take it. You know, your teammate, you built this really nice rapport. You all know each other. You all like each other. But for that extra kill, it's worth sacrificing someone.
Yeah, just kill everyone along the way. Doesn't matter who it is. Well, and here we have it. 12-5 scoreline. Definitely looking good for Able. They now have 2 M4s and the rest on a FAMAS. But Dangerous Game is not ready to give up just yet. We actually see 3 rivals, but 2 of them taken out of the round very quickly. And look at that. I haven't seen a revolver in ages. But let's see if we can do something. Sai here with the very close angle, kind of peeking very closely, but sadly a smoke in return. So she will have to wait for just a second there. Oh, but she's so eager to get something worked up there. And at the same time, you know, the T's kind of try to split up a little bit. You know, we still have Sai on that long, see if anyone pushes. And JL and Jelly here over on mid. And I think it will be an A split by the looks of it. And thing is, no one is going to be that close, so a nice smoke, and at least you can kind of creep out a little bit, but 2 CTs will be waiting very, very soon. Oh, and here we come. The battle is incoming. But so far, shots not hitting. But look at that. The aggression was all over on long, and it just takes one player to kind of become a living decoy over at long. And CTs weren't paying attention to the side anymore, so the bomb can get planted. But we still have Bouchard alive, kicking with that FAMAS, but the scout is doing so much damage. But eventually, it's Able Esports that will take the retake, but that was close, Harry.
Yeah, that was around. Like there was a lot going
all over
on
the
there.
place, yeah.
Yeah, there was a lot going on. That was a nice. You put it very, very well. Like almost like a living decoy over towards long. Side does a really good job there of staying alive and drawing those players' attention in and just not giving the kill up. So that allows her teammates to get out over towards short. They find kills. They get the bomb down. Unfortunately, there's like no accounting for the individuals. There's someone like Sapphire, you know, just stepping up there in what was a 1v2 to find them both. That was very, very well played on her behalf. But like in terms of how that round was laid out, Dangerous Game, that they certainly looked impressive and they almost snuck one past the keeper, as it were. In this round, JL's back at it again with another double kill. She's been good on these entries for her team. So let's see if that keeps up here. As now Dangerous Games sit in a 5-on-3, and this is where the CTs are sweating bullets. This is where you're worried. That kill kind of gets given over by Flora, but thankfully there is a response. And so for the time being, Dangerous Games still have the advantage. This is a bit of an awkward round now as Able have given up this A bomb site, and so they're just playing for the retake. They're playing for this 2-on-3, and they are split up from one another in a sense of the word. A lot of this round is hinging on Sapphire beating this short player, and she's not able to do that. So yeah, at that point, Bouchard is kind of walking into her death, right? There's so many players who could just peek down into CT and isolate that fight. There was no winning it. You needed Sapphire to win this duel over towards short side.
Yeah, and the thing is, they're onto a double eco, so Able Esports will just force into this round, and that might give Dangerous Game a little bit of room to work with. You know, they are able to probably win this round, unless something really weird happens with the Nova onto Sapphire. You never know. But at least, you know, this is looking a little bit better now for Dangerous Game, and it looks like this nice a long push. We do have someone still over on mid, kind of trying to catch some of the rotations as soon as they go, but kind of everyone almost rotated. We do have, a nice short player there for her to catch, and one more in lower tunnel. Oh, but don't know the awkward timing. Standing with a grenade in your hand, not the best. And it is a 4-on-4, and Bouchard has found herself an AK. So, the thing is, this might turn a little bit more dangerous than they would have hoped, but the AKs are definitely doing its work. So 3 kills now already for them, and it kind of leaves Bouchard last alive, hoping that she is able to save that AK and get away from that, from all the fire that's happening along. Well, at least that's a nice rifle that you can take going into the next round. You know, the rest is not able to buy, but Bouchard on an AK, God knows what can happen with that.
Yeah, I would kind of love to see some aggression in this round from the CTs, right? Just to get like a bit of a feeling as to how Dangerous Game are approaching this T-side default early on. One of my favorite kind of things that we see teams do is where they try and take either long aggression or the upper tunnels aggression out of the gate. And with that mid smoke going down and only one player crossing, this is going to lend itself much better towards like this aggression over at long. Probably safe that they didn't go to tunnels in this round, what with such a heavy presence there from Dangerous Game. But this is good because you can use this round both to feel out how your opponents are playing, and then also like try and get in their heads a bit, because if you send a player through long who's able to get away with a little bit more than perhaps they should, or even just showing that that's something you're considering doing in the future, then that's something Dangerous Game are going to have to watch out for. These pistols have dropped the bomb down in middle. This could still get very out of hand very, very quickly here. There's rifles that can be retrieved. Bouchard is still on this AK and still putting up numbers. They know that they've got a trap, and Ellie's spamming the smoke. Bouchard, it's very, very scary right now if you just happen to be her, but she's navigated around this smoke to snatch another kill. Jelly, the only survivor, and she gets deleted. The pistols get it over the line, and Bouchard with that one AK really does answer the call. She does very, very well to get those 2 kills. And I do think, like, specifically when we're looking at her, when we're looking at someone like Exile, right, you can see like the extra bit of tenure, the extra bit of experience in terms of turning these rounds into just chaos, but a chaos in which, you know, this one AK is going to thrive in. And Bouchard has been very, very good at that, right? Like always playing things the right way. And even if that's 2 very like contrasting styles, you know, like over towards the A site, she's been good at just staying alive, setting up for retakes. In that round there, she's very, very good at calculated aggression and knowing what she can get away with and how she can get away with it. So now 14-7, it gets a little bit worrisome here, especially with the double AWP set up for the CTs. There's a flash to try and set Bouchard up over at short. She gets that kill. And now, like, you don't even have to hang around with this short aggression anymore, but they might, right? Especially with Smiley getting away with even more presence down here in the bottom of mid. She's got Bouchard nearby to help out, but she might not even be needed. Flora comes in for the trade, but she's suddenly the last one left standing, and she gets shut down as well. So it's 15 on the board for Abel, 7 for Dangerous Game. No money left on this T side. This is one of these rounds where you might be tempted to just go into a B rush or something of the sort, something like that. And we haven't really seen anything like that. So I wonder if maybe this is the round that we get to see a bit of like just a faster commitment out of spawn from the T's.
Well, B rush, that's not the answer, but at least they go for some mid control with smokes and flashes. And at least Exile is not able to hold that off with the AWP. So now kind of all the space has been given to the T's now. And even a Molotov is not going to be stopping them. So instead of a B rush, it's more or less an A rush. And they are able to get that bomb down. But Elle is burning onto 14 health. But she is still alive in this. What am I watching? That was a Zeus Kukli? What the hell? Well, it's all happening right in front of our eyes, and it kind of leaves Sapphire and Kimmy both on long, which is kind of awkward. You would have hoped that the retake together with teammates from short would have been a little bit better, but now they're calling it. They're going for the save, and the fast-paced push is definitely paying off. And even though there was a little cheeky kill for a second, it was not enough to save the round and pull them to the end of map 1. Ooh, Kimmy onto 1 HP. Just one bullet will maybe do it. Oh, sadly no. But they do manage to hold on to that AWP, which is kind of good because on some players the money is kind of weird. Some people do have the money. But maybe this is the lifeline of Dangerous Game.
Yeah, I mean, the comeback's got to start somewhere, right? Why couldn't that be the round? There's still a very like large gap between these 2 teams, and so it's going to be like a real battle to get you there. But as you just said, like the money's in a bit of a rough spot now for Abel, and I'm still trying to like build something positive here, but as I'm doing that, Exile, she wants no part of it. She's sat on this like 2-0 KD, 100 ADR. She's putting up all the kills, that one there even through the smoke, and she just wants this over and done with. You know, you don't want to give your opponent a lifeline back in, and with those 2 kills, she puts pressure on the other players that are still alive in the server to try and make a play, to try and get something, you know, make these 2 players that you've lost early on worth it. And so there's essentially like just a death push into the B bomb site. Jelly inside left in this 2v5. This is not a good spot to be in, especially not with Smiley looking like she wants to go aggressive through these long doors. She's going to be arriving very, very fast into the back line when this push comes in. She's flanking. She could drop the bomb. This round should be dead to rights. And Smiley is the one that should really make that happen. With this kill, she's taken her time as well. This is a perfect play from her. There's the first and the second as well. And that there is the game. It's going to be, or at least, yeah, this map. Abel, they get it all over the line, and they're able to defeat on the opponent's map pick.
Yeah, I love that trigger player discipline there by the end. You know, you can really see the control they're having, and they're really in charge of this first map. And we're saying that for the map pick of Dangerous Game. So let's see how Able Esports will do on their map pick after the break. So stay with us, and we'll see you back soon.